welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things Transformers and Transformers action figure related. And today on my channel we're coming to the end of what seems to have been going on forever. We're coming to the end of the Transformers Cross Back to the Future IDW saga. Now this started all the way back in time to 2020, yes, all that way back, and today we reach the end of this saga. Before we kick off on this one, big shout out to Blind Prime, who also has a YouTube channel where he looks at Transformers from a unique perspective of a person who is visually impaired. So it's a very, very interesting channel and you should all go and check out Blind Prime. He's been following these kind of Transformers reviews that I do on the comics where I describe these so that Blind Prime can actually follow along with the IDW storyline. So really glad that you're getting the most out of these, and everybody go check out Blind Prime's channel. So let's kick off this one by taking a look at the front cover, and on the front cover here we have Skids, Bumblebee, Rodimus. We never really learn about this dude really and what his name is, but it's the transformed clock tower that we saw at the end of the last issue, which we'll go into in a second. Doc Brown, Marty, Einstein, and of course Gigawatt, 128 gigawatts, Jigga, whatever it is you want to call him. There he is. So what a front cover this is. This is actually one of my favorite covers that they've done of this series. I think it's really nice with the big flux capacitor going down the middle. Now, when we finished issue 3, it finished on one of the best cliffhangers I've ever seen in a comic, and that is the clock tower turned into a massive bot. This is absolutely epic. Will issue 4 live up to the promises of issue 3? Let's find out. So let's open this bad boy up and let's... Gigawatt can just kind of... Gigawatt, his name's Gigawatt, can just fly out of the way now. Just like in the movie. Then we can open this dude up and we get a little rehash of the story here from what we looked at last time. And we know that they were trying to attack the cons and get into their kind of base type area, but oh no! The clock tower transformed into a massive weapon and a massive bot. So the personnel on this journey in this issue: Marty, the Doc, Biff, Bumblebee, Optimus, Skills, who was a new bot that was Marty's skateboard. Absolutely awesome. I wish Hasbro would release that as a figure. Gigawatt, Jigga, whatever it is you want to call him. Rodimus Prime. Watchtower. Okay, he's called Watchtower. Not Clock Tower, he's called Watchtower. And we have Rumble. No, sorry, that's Frenzy. Not having that, so he'll be called Frenzy all the way through it. Page 1 here sees the Clock Tower blasting away at Skills, Rodimus Prime, and Bumblebee. And Rodimus is telling Marty and the other humans to get out of here because this Clock Tower is enormous with an awesome looking Decepticon logo right on his chest there. So Marty and the Doc has a gun that can destroy smaller bots, shall we say, but he realizes actually this is going to be no use against the clock tower, so they only really have one option, and that's to jump into the DeLorean and try to go back and do something. Just as they're going to go in there, they get a massive blast from the clock tower. Bumblebee jumps up to attack, and unfortunately Bumblebee is put offline. Thank you. No more Bumblebee. I wish. And then Marty tells everybody that we're running out of time. No, Rodimus tells everyone that they're running out of time. Just as the Doc says, since when has time been a problem for us? Gigawatt flux capacitor is now good as new because Gigawatt had been suffering some issues with his flux capacitor. So they're going to go back in time and try and save the space-time continuum. But again, the shot rings out, and this time who gets in the way? Gigawatt. But Gigawatt is not actually impacted as badly as Bumblebee. He's still alive, but he is damaged really badly and converts back into the DeLorean mode. Then basically they say, oh, we're going to need some help getting up to 88. The flux capacitor will still work, but they still need to get up to 88, but they're willing to try. And then Rodimus tells Skills to give them a hand. So we then get this awesome section of Skills and the Doc riding behind, pushing the DeLorean all the way up to 88, while Rodimus fights the clock tower in the background. We can see Rodimus is fairly damaged from the battle, and then Rodimus is stepped on. Now the other half of the fan base gets to cheer, right? Because Rodimus is stepped on. I'm not as keen on this one. I like Rodimus. So Rodimus says, freedom for all. And the clock tower says, no, destruction for all. And Rodimus is laid out. Moving on then, we then see that they're slowly getting up to 88 miles an hour. We have it at 78. They tell it to go harder, and Marty tells the Doc to join him inside, and he says no, he can't. He has to go and save history for one last time. And just as he says that, they get up to 88, and away they go, leaving Skids and the Doc behind with nowhere to run, and the Doc and Skids turn around in horror as they know what waits for them, because now they have to deal with the clock tower. Now, having jumped back into the past, the damaged Gigawatt and also Marty are looking at basically the beginning of the whole episode, where Frenzy now has stolen the other DeLorean. So Gigawatt decides he's going to ram the other DeLorean off the road. This causes Frenzy to ask, what in the hell of all things despiteful, another time machine? So he can't believe his eyes that there's now two time machines. And not only is there two time machines, but this time machine then turns into a bot and aims a gun directly at him. But he's too slow, and Frenzy gets the first shot off, and Gigawatt falls. Followed closely by a earthquake that comes directly from Frenzy's pile drivers, causing the ground, as always, to open up so he can make his escape. But before he does that, somebody appears and shoots him, and of course that is Biff Tannen. So Biff says he can't believe that he was ever taken in by these goons, basically, and he then aims again, but this time the gun does not work. So Frenzy engages pile drivers, and this time disappears into the earth. Once into the earth, he gets to where the cons are currently in kind of stasis, and says, hey, Teletran, shake a leg, we got some work to do. But unfortunately, he has a surprise, because the Autobots this time are already awake before the Decepticons. Frenzy can't believe his eyes and asks what on earth is going on. Prime tells him that Marty and Gigawatt basically awoke them from their slumber before they came to attack Frenzy. Frenzy then decides that, he's going to do another swift getaway, get out, and this time just goes directly into a hole, and they then fill that hole full of Energon and bury Frenzy up to his neck in Energon. After the battle, Prime asks Biff, where is Marty? And Marty is consoling Gigawatt as Gigawatt's spark fades. And unfortunately, this looks like the end of our time-traveling champion here. And Marty looks very sad as his spark does fade and he goes into stasis. Marty then uses the other DeLorean to get home and flies back to Hill Valley in 2015, where he meets the Dark again, but things have changed and all of the bots are alive. So we can see that Rodimus, or Hot Rod in fact, is there, and we can see Bumblebee, and also that the Dark's lab is restored, but also Gigawatt is back as well. And of course this is because he's more than just a bot. He's a time traveling bot, so they fixed everything and he became alive again. And also, the Autobots, to finish off the story, got a brand new mechanic. And who else, of course, is the mechanic but good old Biff in the white overalls, looking a lot like the Autobots helpers from some G1 stylings. It's pretty damn cool. Doc then tells Marty he's got to get back to 1985. He's got to get back to his own life in 1985. And when he gets home, he meets his mom, he meets his dad, and they tell him that everything's cool and they have a little present for him. And of course, that gift is the truck, just like at the end. But the truck is not Trailbreaker, as you might think. It's a Decepticon. Just as Skills is also asking, you reckon he's going to be okay, Giggs? And Giggs says, with the Autobots watching out for him, of course he will, Skills. Woohoo! Marty's going to have the time of his life. Now, who is this? I'm completely lost. It's not Trailbreaker, obviously. Who is this? What Decepticon is this? Answers on a postcard, comments down below. Let me know who you think this is. And that's the end. And that is the actual end of this story. It tells us here that they're going to print the whole lot together, basically, and that's going to come out in September. So that's always nice when they do kind of the compendium. Awesome cover that I got. This was the other cover, the kind of more kind of CAD drawing type one, which was nice. And then the other one was this one, just the whole kind of family together. I actually really like this one as well. This would have been the other cover that I would have liked. We also get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Annual 2021 advert, and another advert for one of these little cutesy Transformers body plushies, and the Transformers 2021 Annual, which is Titan Treachery on sale now. And then on the back we get Lock and Key. So this was actually a pretty good episode and a pretty good end to the whole series. I've really enjoyed this Transformers cross Back to the Future. I would like to see them do more with it. Again, I know this probably isn't a franchise that they'll touch again. I like Gigawatt as a character, Gigawatt, whatever you want to call him. I really like him. I think the figure's pretty nice as well. I'd love to see a Skills figure somewhere further down the line. But all in all, this has been a great crossover. Let me know your thoughts on this one down in the comments. Have you enjoyed it? And also, what do you think the next big crossover should be? Who, what, when, where, and how? And I'll see you in my next video. Alright guys, in a bit. Peace.